سبيل الدموع سبيل مريح، تنهدى يا صاحي كي تستريح، وبث الدعاء الخفي الصريح.
الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Amma ba'du, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to part 5 of our 5-part series on fiqh of moon sighting. So clearly this is the last part, and this is going to be the conclusion. So relatively short. I hope if you've reached to part 5 now, you've understood the first 4 parts before. If you haven't, it'd be a good idea just to recap on them. They're not that long. I've intentionally kept them short as possible in order for them not to be burdensome, and I've also made sure that they've gone out in small chunk size, manageable size, bite size you could call it, so that at least you've had a week to kind of observe it rather, digest it, be able to make notes, and then come back for the next part. So let's not take up any much more of your time, and let's conclude this series. So conclusions, the obvious thing to start on. I hope I've been able to demonstrate that sighting should be and is given priority as dictated by scriptural evidence. We are people of scripture, we are an ummah of scripture, and that is what we should be our basis and our cornerstone and our fundamentals when it comes to all aspects of acts of ibadah. We have seen that astronomy can and should play a part within the moon sighting. We do not and we should not understand la naktubu wa la nahsibu to mean that we are and will always be uneducated. We should not engage in sciences. We should be completely aloof to that. That goes contrary, that understanding rather, that interpretation goes contrary to what the Quran and the Hadith inform us. The sciences of mirath are very complicated. The maths involved there is very complicated. The science of time, we've been always engaged in time, knowing when salah should start, when it shouldn't. Time is very important to us, and it's basis on these sorts of things that we did develop mathematical theorems, and we developed the clock. I appreciate we may have borrowed some fundamentals from other nations, but we took it to a certain level. So you can clearly see that knowing and observing the world in order to better prepare our ibadat has been something that we've been engaged in. So astronomy has been shown to reject so-called sightings, I put that in speech marks, when the moon sets before the sun, because that is not possible. Astronomy was also utilized to interrogate sightings during what were termed as the grey area, even though it was in orange, in highly improbable zone. And if this was not supported by other statements, then the rejection is recommended. Let me give you an example. In Nigeria, 2 people come to the Nigerian government or the Awqaf or whoever is set up, the ministry that's set up for moon sighting, and make a declaration that we have seen the moon. The Nigerian government are happy with this. They're ignoring science for now. They think astronomy shouldn't play a part whatsoever, and they take the statement from these 2 individuals and they declare the start of a new month. Now, a UK committee has an arrangement with the Nigerian government. Now, they would have already seen what their process is, and if they didn't like their process, they would never engage with it. So, I am making a scenario which might not be very realistic, but just go with me for now. So this UK committee has now got this Qadi statement. Remember, not the Shahada. The Shahada is not something that we can engage with, because if we're going to engage with the Shahada, then those witnesses have to come in front of our Qadis and make that statement. So we're going to go by the Qadi's statement. So the Qadi's statement reaches as Nigeria's made this declaration. They're going to, fast from tomorrow. So, but when the UK committee looks at the astronomical data, it's falling in the highly improbable area. So they think, well, okay, it's in the highly improbable area, but it's a sighting, and sighting is based on scriptural evidence, but we need some supportive evidence. Has anybody else seen it in Nigeria? And the Nigerian government says, no, we had 50,000 people looking for the moon, and only these 2 people saw it. Okay, so that's still possible. Highly improbable, but possible. Okay, did any other neighboring African country see it? No. Okay, did any other area see it? Did anyone in Asia see it? Did anyone in Europe see it? Did anyone else see it? Anyone else? Nobody on the whole globe has seen it, when up to 1 million people possibly across the whole globe have gone out to sight the moon. And only 2 people have seen it. Now, clearly, this is giving the Qazi or the UK committee confidence that, look, this is an error. This is not accurate. This is an error. Why is it an error? Because how is it possible that the whole 1 million people across the whole globe went to look for it, at least 1 million, and they didn't see it, but these 2 people saw it? And clearly the astronomical data is not in their favor. We, of all the 1,000 data that we have, never ever has the moon been seen by the unassisted eye or by a telescope at the point which they're making a declaration, which is 5-degree elongation, 10-hour-old moon, and a lag time of 5 minutes. Never. So that's enough confidence for the UK committee to say, we're going to reject that. We're not going to accept that. Secondly, astronomy is being shown to utilize and support witness statements, and as a result can accept to make a declaration. If it's in the beyond the imkani ru'ya, then that would give confidence, and you won't be surprised to find out that it's not that one country that has got the witness statements, that it's been seen in Morocco, it's been seen here, it's been seen there, it's been seen everywhere else. So that will give confidence. So here you can see a very diligent and due process, which is what you'd expect from people who are responsible for our fasting and from people who are responsible for our salah. So what next? And this is what I'm going to leave you on. Now, but this is addressed or particularly aimed at masjid committees. Now, an organization, Wifaqul Ulama, announced UK moon sighting on a monthly basis. Sighting is given priority. Ensured, and I've been engaged with the process so I can speak for first hand here. They ensure the sightings which are impossible are eradicated before declaration is made. Due diligence and thorough process when moon sighting is in a highly improbable zone. So for instance, in very recent scenario, there was a discussion for several hours on a month which has no specific acts of ibadah in it, across face-to-face meetings and conference call between at least 20-30 senior ulama for 6-7 hours. That's the level of due deliberation, that's the level of due diligence, that's the thorough process in order to ensure that when the month was declared, it was declared absolutely correctly, because we are all answerable to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It was not something that was done on the back of the phrase goes cigarette pack, but let's use something more permissible, on the back of a crisp packet. It wasn't done on the back, it's not something that was just done on a post-it note or something. This was a very thorough process, which is what we'd expect our ulama to do. Each masjid committee now needs to explore how they are determining the new month, because the responsibility is on the masjid committee. It's not on anybody else. Each masjid committee is deciding to go with a particular UK moon sighting committee. What's its rationale? What's its reason? Do they know what process that UK moon sighting committee adopts? Are they familiar with it? Do they get notifications in a timely basis for all the months of the year? I was recently in a masjid discussing this very topic with a masjid committee, and I saw a photocopier in the corner, and I said, look, when you went and bought that photocopier, did you just buy a random photocopier? And they said, no, we didn't. I said, you probably selected the most qualified person to make a decision. He was then tasked to go and find all the potential photocopies that you could get. He was probably given a criteria as to what he should and shouldn't be able to do. There was probably a cost basis as well, that don't go over X number of £100. He then went and gathered all that data and probably presented it in a meeting, unless he'd been given the approval to do, as long as it met this criteria, he could go ahead and buy it. And then he went ahead and bought it. Now that's a photocopier, which is just photocopying something in the corner of an office. This is making declarations which are affecting our acts of worship. So do we know? So the mosque committees need to be absolutely clear how they're declaring it. I'm not going to sit here to say you should go with X or with Y. I will sit here and say, be sure as to which and what the method is that your UK moon sighting committee is adopting and you are following. Because as I am answerable on the Day of Judgment, so are you. That's important to understand. I guess as just average people, what we can do is we can engage with our mosque committees and masjid committees and say, what is it you are doing? We want to know the process as well. It's important that we do that. And that really brings me to the end of my slideshow. I hope you've you've understood, or I've been in a position to give you a better understanding of the issues of moon sighting, and I hope that it's been enlightening in some ways, as it's sometimes treated as a bit of a black art. It isn't. It's treated as a bit of a black art because people don't understand it. So rather than engage with it, they try to belittle it or turn it into a mockery and moon fighting and things of that nature. It's not. It's serious. It's part of our deen, and we need to understand it. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الدعاء الخفي الصريح يسعك الفضل